What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and to get my opinion on the market. It does not have to be your opinion, but I'm going to give you mine. I do believe we have a massive dump coming. That's not to say we don't get a suckers rally or a quick pump up, but I believe any pump up from here is going to be short-lived. I'm going to explain what I'm seeing in the charts. Definitely stick around for the whole video to get the full view of what I'm seeing or what I believe is going to happen. Don't forget, there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome community, guys, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice. This is not trading advice, nor is this investment advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market. Take with it and do with it as you please. I am going to go over a few things right now. I'm going to make this as quick as possible. We're going to run through Bitcoin, higher time frames down to lower time frames. Then we're going to look at Litecoin and Ethereum on the 4-hour. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm looking at. First off, we're at 41 on the Fear and Greed Index, still the same for 3 days now. I'm going to show you back here in March when we had our last dip. Look at the Fear and Greed Index, how we had a big drop first and then steadied off before the next drop. Looks like we've had a drop over here, and now we're steadying off before what I believe to be the next drop. Now, I have been talking about a possible pump up to the $11,000 to $11,400 range. Not saying that's going to happen, but be aware that it could, and any pump up is going to be short-lived in my opinion. Again, guys, this is my opinion. Make your own decisions, but I will be shorting this. I'm actually in a short now. I'm going to be adding to it all the way up to those levels. So anyways, let's get into it. So first off, in the macro time frame, higher or lower highs in the monthly. Obviously, we're having an ugly red candle here. A monthly close above 10,972 will be bullish. I don't see it happening. Let's look at the higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That is bearish divergence. In the long term, that doesn't mean, monthly takes a while to play out. But anyways, let's take a look at. So I know a lot of people are extremely bullish here, and here's the bullish targets. 16,000 being the target of this falling broadening wedge, 27,000 being the target of the breakout of this triangle. To come back down here to around 9,200, if we do get a good bounce there, then maybe, we won't see as big of a fall. But be aware, I don't think that's going to hold, but let's take a look at the RSI. So in the RSI, it does look like a possible pump up to retest this trend line in the weekly. It is possible. I'm thinking it's less likely, but be aware of that. But a close of the weekly above this will be bullish. I do think we will come down and retest this area, which I will long down here if that happens. Let's take a look at the daily. So on the daily, we'd been looking at this as a rising broadening wedge. And as you can see, we fell out of it right here really hard, and you can see it also in the rising broadening wedge. Looking at it in the RSI, that fake pump could get us all the way up to this area. It is a possibility. Like I said, I'm not convinced that it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. Any pump up, though, I think is going to be short-lived here. So let's take a look at the measured move. If this is a rising broadening wedge here, we take measured move of from where it fell out, and it gets down to about 3,800. I'm not saying it has to go that low, but a break of this 9,700, which we all know there is a CME gap there, but a break of that, I think we come down to at least test this trend line here, and that's going to be around 7,700, somewhere in that area. But we'll have more targets in the smaller time frame, so stick around. Let's look at the EMAs here. Our 21 EMA is looking to cross the 55 here, guys. It could get very ugly. But something I do want to point out is I've been talking about this looking a lot like the dump back here. As you can see, where we're at right now, we're kind of leveled off under the 8 EMA. We done the same thing over here. We had a fake pump up to pass the 200 EMA, which, like I said, could be around the 1,100 to 11,000 I mean 11,000 to the 11,400 possibly to retest this trend line. That's the highest I see us going. Like I said, I will be laddering in shorts if we do continue up to this area. A break of the 11.4, then I could be wrong. If we do break the 11.4 and open and close a 4 hour above that and get support back on this trend line, then I am bullish. But until then, I am extremely bearish here. Let's take another look at the daily. So looking at this, let's look at last time we dropped. As you can see, we came down, tested this trend line here in this rising broadening wedge, and obviously had our big drop afterwards. A break of this trend line is definitely bullish. If that was to happen, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Like I said, we could get a nice pump up to this $11,000 range to come retest this trend line. And as a matter of fact, I will put a target up there, just an area for you guys to watch. I do believe we will most likely see a dump by tomorrow, if not Monday. And like I said, if I'm wrong, watch that 11.4 area. But this white dash trend line here being the resistance, the one on the bottom being the support. Looking at this as a broadening wedge, we have come down and tested this. A lot of people seem to think 10,000 is holding. Every time we touch 10,000, it gets weaker. One more thing, if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. I will leave a tutorial up top. It is by far my favorite and the best exchange in my opinion. You can trade crypto, forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything with just using your Bitcoin as collateral. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. And if you use Savy promo code Savy50, you'll get 50% on top of whatever you deposit every time you deposit, up to 1 Bitcoin. You can use that towards your margin. Savy25 will get you 25% off of your fees. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you guys think if you are using Prime. Another thing, we are going to be doing a Ledger Nano-esque giveaway. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that thumbs up, leave your comment down below. I'll be picking a random comment from a random video on tomorrow's video to pick the winner. So make sure you do that and share the video. If you get something out of these videos, share them if you belong to any groups or whatever. I appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. But looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, if we do break that 9,700 area, the target there of the wedge is about 6,450 to 6,500, right in that range. We do have other targets. This is just looking at it in this way. If we take the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low to the swing high here, this is going to be the area to watch to see if we pump. The first retracement level is 0.236 at 10,464, which is giving us resistance right now. Break above that, then we most likely come up and test that 11,000, but I don't believe that'll hold, and we will continue down from there. 11,100, like I said, 11,400 is my area to turn bullish if we open and close a 4 hour above it. But I do see a possibility of a nice push up, fake out, get all the bulls sucked in, trap them up here, and continue down, much like what we've seen right here. So anyways, if that area does not hold, we break this 97. The next area of support is going to be this 0.382 at around 9180 to 9200. And if that does not hold, we are looking at the 8150, which is a 0.5 fib. If that does not hold, the golden pocket zone is between 6850 and 7120. Now, if this breaks, then we can look at that target of the 6450. If that does not hold, the last line of support on the Fibonacci retracements is a 0.786 at 5681. If that breaks, we could definitely come down and close this gap. I don't think we'll stay down here long if we do that, but the 3570, there is a CME gap in the 8 hours. So just be aware of that. Like I said, I'm not saying it has to come down here, so I don't want to hear a bunch of dumbass comments saying it'll never happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying it's a definite possibility, and if you don't want to accept that as a possibility, you probably shouldn't be trading. So anyways, let's move on to my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. There is a link below. Definitely check it out. She's got a lot of cool stuff on here. It helps support the channel. And you can put anything you want on any of this stuff, not just what you see. If you have a favorite project, whatever, whatnot, hit her up in the contact and she can help you out there. Let's look at the 4 hour. So looking at the 4 hour. You know what? There was something else I wanted to point out, and I'm not sure if I got it in this. No, we'll look at it in the 4 hour. All right, so in the 4 hour, we're looking at this as our rising wedge, which we have broken down from. The measured move of that is around the $6,000 range. We're going to zoom in real quick and look at what happened over here, which I do believe is what we're looking at now. As you can see, we were in the same area just like here. One more pump up to push to possibly this 200 EMA on the 4 hour. And let's put a target up there. See where that lies as of right now. And that is around the $11,000 range. So if we do go up there, get rejected, I do believe we are going to have a massive drop. Just like this over here. Again, guys, this is just my opinion. Make up your own mind. But the measured move of that gets us down to around the $6,000 range. And of course, like I said, if that doesn't hold, we could be looking down towards this 3670 down in this range. So be careful there. Let's look at the 1 hour. There was something I wanted to point out, and I'm going to go back over here and point it out for you. So right here, last time we had this drop over here, if you look here, we had hidden bullish divergence, so people thought this was going to bounce up. We had higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI here, hidden bullish divergence. We had this fake out up and continue down. Right now we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing lower lows in the price action. And if we look over here, well, we're actually seeing higher lows. If we look from here to here, higher lows in the price action. If we look at the same spots on the RSI, we are seeing hidden bullish divergence, just like we were here. Perfect opportunity for big money to fake out retail. So just be aware of that. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. So this is the 1 hour we had been looking at from the drop here. And the measured move of that was down to the $9,700 range. We did not quite tap that yet. Remember, we have a CME gap here. I do believe most people are going to try to long when it gets here. So if we take a look at, and I will not be longing there. I'm sure we'll get a bounce, but I don't think it's going to be long-lived. So looking at this as a bear flag, this being the flag pull, and we put it down, depending on where we break out, gets us down to about the 8,200 range. Looking at the RSI, let's zoom in here a little bit. As you can see, we are getting support right here on this line. A break of this line, guys, is going to be ugly. So keep an eye on that in the 1 hour. This was another way we were looking at the 1 hour, and we had some measured moves here. Obviously, this was our first measured move, which was looking at this. Let me zoom in so you can see it as a bear flag, which it ended up being. And we had a measured move of the 10.5. We got a little bounce before breaking through, and now that has become resistance. Now looking at this as a triangle, take a measured move of the triangle to the break of the triangle, gets us down to about the 8,700. And then looking at it as a failed bull flag with a flag pull over here, coming down, gets us down to about 74. All right, let's take a look at Litecoin. These are some areas I wanted to look at real quick. As you can see, before our drop right here, let's look at the RSI in that same time frame. You can see what happened here. Look at this high. We're making lower highs. In here, same thing in the RSI. We had a huge capitulation right here from this area. We did not get to the overbought area that everybody thinks we always have to get to. We did not get up into the overbought before we slammed down, as you can see. And let's look at where we're at right now, and then we'll take a look at the price targets. Same thing. We are right in that same area. We could get a pump. If we look over here, we did not make it back up to the 200 EMA. We made it a little above the 55 EMA. It doesn't have to play out exact, but right now the 55 EMA is at $50 and the 200 EMA is around 54. The highest I see us going, which I don't think we'll get up that high, is retest the bottom of this rising channel, which is around 57. And let's take a look at the measured moves. We had this rising channel here. The first measured move of that is 38.36. If we look at this as a bear flag, we take a measured move of the flagpole, put it down to, if we were to break out here, it's going to be around the $30 range. We have plenty of room in the RSI, guys. Be aware of that. Let's look at Ethereum. Same thing in Ethereum. As you can see, if we look at this high here, lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action, we had this huge capitulation drop. Let's look at the EMAs there to see what happened, and then we'll go over and see where we're at now. We did come up right after it looked like the 55 was going to do a death cross with 200. We had this big fake pump up, which, like I said, we may be seeing again. Don't have to, but we may be. And then obviously you see what happened after that. Let's go to where we're at now. So we were looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, which we broke down. The measured move of that is around, let's take a closer look at this, right around, actually around the $240 range, right in that area. Yeah, right about $245, $246, somewhere in that range is that target. We are getting rejected on the old support here, but again, if we do get a fake pump up, we could get up into the $400 range, possibly the highest. I don't think that's going to happen. But as you can see, if we look at this peak here, let me spread it out so you can see it. This peak right here, which is right here. If we use that peak to this peak, we have made lower highs. If we look at it in here, higher highs, bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence. I do believe we will be seeing these lower lows possibly by tomorrow, if not Monday. And I believe we're going to see the same thing in the traditional markets, guys. So beware and be careful. Looking at this as a flagpole and looking at this down here in yellow as the bear flag. We can move this up just a little bit. We're looking about the $175 range, which would line up perfectly with all of this old support and resistance across here. So be careful, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click CryptoSavy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick that notification bell to get you notified every day when I post new videos. Hit that all to make sure they notify you. Smash that like button and leave your comment down below for your chance to win the Ledger Nano S. Take it easy, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.